Hello everybody and welcome to Big Sky Sounds. I'm Ann Harrigan, Music Director of the Billings Symphony Orchestra, and if you're in the auditorium at Alberta Bear Theatre, you know that you're going to have a fantastic concert coming up. If you are watching this ahead of time on Community 7, you need to run, don't walk, to the ABT or just push a button on your computer and get tickets because this concert is going to be out of this world. I have with us today some amazing guest artists who also have played in the symphony for many years in leadership positions. I want to give a warm welcome to Samantha Inez, Principal Viola of the Billings Symphony, and Randy Tracy, Concertmaster of the Billings Symphony. Welcome.
Thank you
kindly.
kindly.
Thank you for having us.
So you're going to have some unusual roles. Usually you are sitting in the orchestra, and you still will be, but you're going to be having some different roles in this concert. Samantha, tell us what you're doing.
So I'm playing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen for solo viola and orchestra. So we're gonna try to do Freddie proud.
Mm-hmm, we will, definitely. So tell us a little bit, I'll let you talk for a minute while I'm slugging some water here. Tell us about 75 years of music in one night.
So 75 years of music in one night. Just imagine how much music can happen in 75 years and then try to pick like 12, 13 pieces and songs. And that job is basically impossible. But we've managed to do, I think, a pretty good job of trying to represent every decade. And so it's a concert with a little bit of music for everybody. You'll have some classical, you'll have some greatest hits, you'll have a lot of beautiful sound in this concert that just celebrates all the music that was happening while Billings Symphony started and existed.
Which was 1951.
Yes.
So 1951, we'll be starting out our concert with the Red Poppy, the Russian sailor's dance from the Red Poppy, an opera that was probably never performed, hardly, but it is a famous piece in and of itself. It was performed on the very first concert that the Billings Symphony ever played. Now, Randy, you'll also be performing a solo with the orchestra. What are you going to play?
I'm doing the title theme to the movie Schindler's List. It's written by John Williams, and it's one of the most beautiful and heartfelt pieces I think ever written. It's absolutely gorgeous music, and it's a real pleasure to play it.
So, Randy, you've lived here in Montana since
1985.
All right. So, do you know why we're doing Schindler's List on this concert?
Not entirely sure.
Ah, okay. Have you heard of Not in Our Town?
Oh yes, I remember that event very clearly. I was in the orchestra when that happened, and it was centered around something that had to do with the orchestra quite directly.
Yes. Can you talk to our audiences a little bit about it? Because it was a very important event with Billings, and we are performing Schindler's List to commemorate the 90s. So.
I remember the events fairly clearly. I don't have absolute particulars, but I recall that our music director at the time, Uri Barnea, from Israel, was targeted in anti-Semitic attacks. He had, I think, bricks thrown through his front window. He had death threats. And then we had an orchestra concert coming up, and the orchestra was informed that there had been a bomb threat against the orchestra for the concert.
I did not know that.
And Uri said to the orchestra, if you don't feel comfortable playing this concert, I understand. He said, I'm going to conduct this concert because they're not going to stop me. And he had a backbone of iron in that moment. And we all showed up, and there were lovely, polite people from the ATF with bomb-sniffing dogs everywhere that checked every person and every music case and every instrument case as we came in. And they had screened the entire hall beforehand. And they were quite confident that the threat was empty air, and it was. And we played the concert, and I wasn't really concerned at the time. And soon after, the community rallied behind the Barnea family and also the Billings Jewish community, and there was, in the Billings Gazette, the center of the Sunday paper was the double-fold, full-size, in full color, a menorah. And you could take that out of the paper and you could put it in your window. And most of the windows in the city of Billings have menorahs in them. and that was the upshot of the Not in Our Town movement.
Mm-hmm. It became a national movement.
It did.
It did.
It did.
That's a great story. I actually did not know all the details of the story, but a lot of people didn't, that it was so tied in with the Uri and the symphony, Maestro Banera. So that's only one of 13 pieces. And one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be projecting images. So I've spent the summer, along with many people in the orchestra, curating, seeking out, restoring images, photos of the orchestra from every single decade, but also different stories that happened. Did you know that the orchestra split into two parts?
I didn't, and that's something I found out.
You probably can say why.
It's before my time, but I was aware of it. I know that orchestras go through a lot of growing pains. Mm-hmm. And one of the watershed moments is where it goes from amateur to paid professional. And typically, you end up with some people that are paid and a bunch of people that are still volunteering. And that can be a rocky transition in there. And sometimes the people that are getting paid are looked at askance by the people who are volunteering for completely understandable reasons. But I believe it had some things to do with that.
I believe it did too. Eloise Kirk, who was a founding member, she told me the story. So the orchestra split in two for a year. So if you're listening, we're going to be doing music of your life. Music from Mambo from Bernstein to Bridgerton to Schindler's List to Bohemian Rhapsody and more. We're going to be starting off with the Russian Sailor's Dance. We'll be doing music from the 60s, to music from Piazzolla Tango music. All of this is this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at the Alberta Bear Theater. So if you want to get tickets, you can call us at the Alberta Bear is our box office for tickets, or go online, billingssymphony.org, and it's an easy way to pick out your seats. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. You're accomplished musicians. You've been playing in the orchestra for quite a while, and Randy a little bit longer. Samantha?
A wee bit longer.
A wee bit longer. Samantha, tell us about how you got started and our first concert together.
Oh, yes. So at the time, I was living in San Francisco.
Yes.
And I knew I was moving back to Billings to be with family. And I grew up in Billings, so I was just like, okay, we got to get rooted in the Billings music community as soon as I get back. So I reached out to Amy Letson, the former principal violist, and a dear friend of mine, and said, well, I'm going to send in audition tapes. So I sent them right to you. I sent them to Amy. And you were just like, get on stage. You're playing.
Oh, yes.
And that was the first time I played as a sub, was at the Symphony in the Park that was rained out of Pioneer. And we went to Amend Park.
Oh, yes.
But then our first Masterworks concert together was Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto. And I remember that because I was a section violist at the time. And we played, and I mean, who doesn't love that piece? And we played it last month with Gil Shaham, like, Pinch Us, We're Dreaming. So I just remember you and I having such a good time, especially in those orchestral tutis that are just so magnificent.
And we still have a good time. And you had a great time with Gil Shaham.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you had some wonderful moments. So those are good memories. Well, we were very excited to have you, and even more pleased when you won a national audition to become our principal violist after Amy moved to Minneapolis. So it's been great having you. So, and Randy, you were here when I started, so 20 years ago. When did you start with the orchestra?
I believe I first started playing in 1986. My first year was Uri Barnea's second year, and that's a while back. But boy, we played a lot of pretty music through the years. And I was fortunate enough to meet and play with a number of the founding members at that time. Eloise Kirk, of course, she was a wonderful friend. And I remember quite a few of them.
So both of you are teachers.
Yes.
Excellent teachers, by the way.
Thank you.
I actually take lessons with Randy when I can. So we were talking some technique things. And you are involved with the youth orchestra. Hopefully we have a lot of young people who will be coming to the concert. What advice do you have for them?
Play. Find every opportunity you have to play. form a string quartet if you can't get anything else going. Play in your school orchestra, play in the all-state orchestra, play in regional honor orchestras, play in the Billings Youth Symphony. Take every gig you can, play in every musical you can, play in every opera you can. That's my advice.
Good advice. Samantha?
One of my teachers in San Francisco gave me some of the best advice, and I hold it dear to me to this day. He looked at me and he said, one night I was there late and he was there late, and he was just like, "What are you doing? It is Saturday." And I was just like, "I'm practicing. I need to get better." our complex. And he said, "The best way you can be the musician of your dreams is to experience life and bring it to your music." And so I took, it's always playing and taking your life experiences and taking your time and infusing your music with just everything that you know in life. And that's what makes it so special. So whenever you feel guilty, you should just experience, like in San Francisco, I went to the beach, instead of feeling like I'm not in a practice room, just be like, it is beautiful here. And then you go back to the practice room and you're just like, life is great.
Oh, that's great. Well, speaking of infusing your personality, you're doing an iconic piece, the Bohemian Rhapsody by Freddie Mercury. But now
Is it bad that my favorite version of that was by the Muppets?
No, that is a great take.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to run back and watch it.
You've got to see this.
It's great. It's great.
Oh, that's
No,
fantastic.
That's an excellent take.
So Bohemian Rhapsody was not originally written for solo viola and orchestra.
No.
No. So how do you interpret the piece?
You know, I think all the way back to when I first heard it. And I was in the car. My siblings were soccer players, and I was the nerdy musician.
Oh.
And so I had to go to all the soccer games, but they would listen to Queen every time they drove to their soccer game. And so I would hear Bohemian Rhapsody, Everyone Bites the Dust, Bicycle Race, like all of the big Queen songs. And I would always just sing with my family in our Dodge dark green, unfortunately colored van to these things. So I just think of myself being a kid and being excited to be with my family and hearing the words, hearing what is being said. I mean, the vocals are just the most iconic. I mean, it was 4 people, a lot of tape splicing, and like the amount. It comes from such a humble place to create such a grand piece. So I think you just have to think of its beginnings and think of what are they singing? What are they saying? And what does it mean? And
what does it mean?
I know. And
nobody knows.
Nobody knows, and it doesn't really matter.
Oh,
but yeah.
Fell right into that one.
Yes. Yes, just taking that full energy from the piece and listening to it, going back into that band with my siblings singing it.
That's great.
What I'm thinking.
That's fantastic. You also mentioned that when you go through, you're really hearing the words in your head. And with talk a minute about, first of all, bowings. Let's back things up. But how you're bowing the piece differently than the music that was handed to you?
You know, I really tried to take time to understand the diction of the piece. A fun fact about me is I took vocal lessons for quite a while. And if I wasn't a violist, I would be a singer. But that's funny to say out loud. But I would really take time to see, like, what is the word? Oh, it doesn't really matter. And think of like the consonant sounds and like, should I slur? Should I break? Does it sound better on an up bow or a down bow?
Back up for a second. Actually, I'm going to let Randy talk for a minute. Can you explain to our audience, because probably not everybody in the world knows how much we obsess over bowings or what even they are. So.
Yeah.
Well, you have the fiddle here, and then the bow's working this way, and the direction of the bow changes the sound. and how fast the bow's moving and how short the bow is and how hard we push and how soft we touch it. All of this affects the sound. And so it's not just a matter of deciding is this going to be down or up. It's a matter of deciding the shape of the phrase, how we want it to be vocally expressive in a very human way. And it's more a matter of choreography for the bows than it is just a matter of choosing up or down.
So, and you say up or down, we almost never play one note on one bow and then another note on another bow. In fact, I just walked out of a lesson in which we argued about 3 bowings for half an hour. So you will take maybe 2 notes, and we call it slurring, together, or 3 or 5 or 20. And so you made some decisions in Bohemian Rhapsody whether to combine notes because they were part of one syllable or to separate them. You, as the concert master, you choose the bowings for the violins for the entire orchestra. And so
in an advisory capacity.
yes.
a good advisor.
I choose the bowings for the first violin section, and then the other principals look at my bowings and say, "Oh, that's a great idea," or "No, that's dumb. I'm not doing that." So, which is fine.
And sometimes we like I have emailed Randy. I'm like, "Why?" And then he will tell you. He will tell you exactly why.
I don't ever do a bowing without there being musical reasons behind it.
Yep.
And occasionally that surprises people.
So when you see an orchestra, when you see the Billings Symphony Orchestra, and you say, wow, that's amazing, all the violins or all the entire string sections sometimes are moving together, they're moving their bows together, it's because of the principal players. They actually decide. And they are the only people, other than the music director, I suppose, could intercede.
And it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It's not a quick process. For one piece of music that lasts 5 or 6 minutes can sometimes be hours of work spread out over a week.
Absolutely.
Where I'll try a bowing and think, yeah, I think I've got this, and the next day I pick it up and I try it again. And no, that's not quite right. I got to try something else.
Well, the other thing is you have to bow not only for yourself, you have to know all the players in your section, because you might bow something differently if it was just for you, but you have to pick out a bowing that you think will be the most successful for the majority of people.
Yep.
So it is something we can get really nerdy about.
Yes.
For hours.
And we do. But let's talk again about the concert is this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at the Alberta Bear Theatre. It's the 75 years of music in one night. 75 years, from the Russian Sailors Dance to the Beatles to Mambo from West Side Story, music from Bridgerton, some new pieces you won't know, Piazzolla's Oblivion, tango, I Feel Like I Miss, and music from Hamilton. We have a special guest. Yes, that was the one I was missing. We'll also be playing one of the top 3 most played pieces in the history of the Billings Symphony. We'll be ending that, The Great Gates of Kiev, as well as some other tunes, Schindler's List, Bohemian Rhapsody, 75 years of music, one piece of music for every decade, plus a couple bonuses because we really like them. And so again, give us a call, check us out, billingssymphony.org. On our website, you can click to get your tickets. The Alberta Bear Theatre box office is who's selling our tickets for us. You can also walk up to the Alberta Bear Theatre this week or right before the concert. It's not to be missed. If you're in the audience, you are in for a treat, and we'll see you in a few minutes. I want to thank both of you again. Do you have any parting words? We have about 1 minute.
Come. Join. You can't miss. You can't miss it.
And enjoy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, both of you. And I'll enjoy the week rehearsing with you. And if this is playing today, I'll see you on stage in a few minutes.
All right.
Again, this has been Big Sky Sounds. I'm Ann Harrigan, Music Director. We will see you very soon at the Alberta Bear Theatre.